Ladies, I keep telling y'all about these jealous, hateful, and controlling men who only get with women because they want to steal their shine. Cardi B came out on Spaces today and said that Offset has been harassing her ever since they broke up. Cardi B says that even though Offset has a girlfriend that he's been with for a while now, he still texts her phone begging to be intimate with her. She says that he harasses her every time she goes out of town, which, ladies, by the way, that is a common tactic used by abusers to try to maintain control over you. They're hoping that eventually you'll just stop going away altogether. She says that Offset has threatened to unalive himself and her,
begging me, saying he was gonna take away his life, begging me, saying he's gonna take away my life.
which is, again, another tactic that abusers use to try to maintain control and power over their victims. She even said that Offset sent revenge corn to the man that she was dating. Every time she does something or accomplishes something, Offset calls her phone trying to lower her self esteem. Does this sound familiar, ladies? Offset is currently reacting and crashing out because of his loss of power and control over Cardi B and their relationship. Shaking my head, so you already know that this means he's not going to be taking care of the kids that he and Cardi have together. And that's yet another example of how men weaponize pregnancy, childbirth, and motherhood against us, ladies. Pay attention to all of this.
Hey y'all, I'm back with another video, and y'all, I'm here to just briefly cover this whole Cardi B Offset drama. I feel like this couple has some sort of beef that gets brought to the internet like every 10 business days at this point. But this latest crash out that occurred over Twitter Spaces was the most alarming that I have witnessed thus far. And it's actually related to a topic that I'm going to be covering tomorrow as it relates to toxic relationships. And I felt compelled to make a video on it. So here you go. And to be clear, I've stated this in previous videos as it relates to celebrity gossip and celebrity figures and influencers. I want to be clear about biases. I am not the biggest fan of Cardi B. She's actually someone that I really don't care for as a public figure at all. However, I will say that based on what she described as far as the harassment that she's currently receiving from her soon to be ex-husband, I don't think their divorce is yet finalized, but it was very disturbing, right, to hear her speak on how ever since she has started publicly moving on, that he's been harassing her, sending her threats on her life, on his own life, um, gaslighting her, triangulating her with his other girlfriend, even harassing the man that she's presently with by sending revenge corn of when they were together. I mean, it's very disturbing what he's doing to her. But I want to say that my biggest issue with what's going on is the fact that she is bringing all of this to the internet. Like, y'all, I feel like Cardi B has this issue of like being like this very reactive individual where she plays right into the narcissist's hand. Like, she is literally like a narcissist dream, right? And I know people always are like, oh, that word gets thrown around. So Offset is a narcissist. He's a prototypical narcissist that is using the children, using his access to her as a means of control, right? And the reason that he's able to play these same games with her over and over again is because Cardi allows it. And every time she reacts, publicly especially, she gives him exactly what he wants: attention. Like, that's all he wants. He wants the attention. Negative, positive, he wants the attention. He wants a reaction. And in order to break the cycle, she has to stop engaging. She has to stop engaging with him. At this stage in their like divorce, there needs to be a mediator present that can handle any communication, maybe as it relates to the kids or any thing that they share. And because that's the only way that she's going to ensure, number one, her safety of herself and her kids, but also that he eventually leaves her alone, right? Because at this point, with her continuing to give him access to, her home, her body, her energy, he's just going to continue to drain her emotionally, right? And this is the thing, like this type of toxic relationship dynamic, all it ends up is leaving the woman in most cases the most drained. Like she's obviously actively attempting to move on with her life. And perhaps because it's happening in the public eye, that's what's causing him to spiral and crash out and send her these crazy messages. And yeah, I just feel like it's not going to stop until she sets the clear boundaries and prioritizes herself over a man that clearly doesn't value her and never did. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard for me to show empathy for Cardi though, because this is the same woman that was saying stuff like this, in the thick of a lot of his cheating scandals in the past.
I have dated men that were extremely faithful to me.
Were they ugly? No.
Oh my God. Man, cute, super faithful to me. But it's like a lot of people, when that whole cheating scandal came out, a lot of people was like, you deserve somebody faithful. But just because somebody like extremely faithful don't make you happy, because
that's true.
The guys that were extremely faithful to me, it just didn't work out. You just need to find somebody that you really in love with and make you happy.
And I distinctly remember sometime shortly after they got married, she had her baby, and he had that whole scandal with that stripper Jade and her sister. I remember her making a statement about like, oh, all men cheat, so what am I supposed to do? Like, be alone or leave him? Like, why would I leave him when all men cheat? Like, I knew then that she was pretty much a lost cause. And all those times in the past when she would threaten to leave, like, I didn't even believe her, right? And it does seem like mentally she has made the change and she's stronger now and she's making a concerted effort to genuinely get away from him. But continuing to come to the internet to air their dirty laundry, it's not making the situation any better, And I personally think that all this does is just fuel Offset, right? Because when you're dealing with someone like him, he thrives off of the control and the attention. And Cardi reacting publicly like this, it's just feeding him. It's feeding his ego. And if she truly wants peace at the end of the day, she just needs to block him out completely and create that separation, definitively. Like hire a mediator, she has access to lawyers, like therapists, like anything to like block him out, create that space, and focus on her own healing, focus on protecting herself. Because anytime a man is threatening your life and to end his own life, like that is very real, right? That's something that you don't take lightly, right? You do not take that lightly. And I think that for herself, like, once she does create that distance, she needs to take extensive therapy to work through her emotional attachment issues. Because there's no reconciliation of this kind of, when you're at this level of toxicity. I never thought that they should have been together to begin with, but at this stage, there's no way of reconciling this kind of relationship. The only thing that's going to resolve it is distance, therapy, potentially police involvement if he makes any more threats against her or himself. And that's it. But that was just my thoughts on the situation, y'all. Definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this latest debacle between the two of them. Honestly, as someone that does not check for Cardi's music at all, I can honestly say that I think that her energy would be better spent pouring into doing her album or working on like some music. Like, I think if she transmuted all of that negative energy that she's putting out on Twitter and the internet, sharing all of what's going on between her and Offset, if she just put that into the music instead, I think she would be a lot better off, right? I wouldn't check for the songs, right? But I think personally, I think she would be a lot better off if she just directed her time, energy, and attention there versus fighting with her soon to be ex husband. But until next time, I love y'all so much, and I'll see you soon.